Alright, hello again. We're going to chapter 10.4 formulas, and we're going to solve for the indicated variable. So the first thing I want to do before we tackle solve for the indicated variable that really applies in 10.4, let's revisit a nice problem. And we'll solve for the indicated variable. We'll have 3x plus 1 equals 7. And let's go ahead and solve for x. That's the only variable there anyways. So our first step whenever we had a problem like this with the equation sign was to identify the equation, simplify both sides as much as possible. No simplifying to do here. So then we'll move on to addition principle. And what we do to one side we have to do to the other. So we have 3x equals 6. And then we have 3 times x. So in order to undo that, we'll divide both sides by 3. What we do to one side we'll do to the other. And we have x equals 2. And that was our solution. What we're going to try to do is a little bit more complicated. Well, not more complicated, it just looks uglier. Let's say we have ax plus b equals c. And let's go ahead and solve for x. First, we'll see our equal sign. And we try to simplify both sides as much as possible. Unfortunately, nothing is like terms, only apples with apples, bananas with bananas, so we can't combine anything. So our next step is, okay, we want to solve for x. So we got to get it by itself. Well, we'll use addition principle like we always have. So we have a plus b. In order to undo it, we subtract b. And what we do to one side, we must do to the other. So now we have ax equals c minus b. Well, they're not like terms, so we can't really combine them, so that's all it is, c minus b. Okay, it's a little funky, but we're okay. We did addition principle. What we do to one side, we do to the other. No harm done. Now we still want x by itself. That's who we want to solve for. So currently there's an a times x. In order to undo it, we divide by a. And what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Now we're left with x by itself equals, well, we can't do anything with this c minus b over a. And that's our answer. Feels funky because there was no numbers, but compare the steps to our previous one. We subtracted 1 from both sides. That's just like our b, except we could do 7 minus 1 because they're like terms. 7 minus 1 got us 6. We could work with it. Unfortunately for ours, we couldn't work with it, so we were stuck. But then we had to divide by 3. Well, 6 divided by 3, we actually know how to simplify that. We could work with it, and that's how we got 2. Here, well, first off, we couldn't combine the c minus b, and then we divide by a, which is completely different, and nothing could simplify for us. But we did the same thought process. So let's go ahead and tackle another one, very similar. And let's go ahead and solve for b. So we have p equals a plus 7b. b is the one we want to solve for, plus 4c. Now identify your equal sign, and just remember what you do to one side, you got to do to the other. Now b is the side we mess with because that's the one where we want to solve for b. It doesn't matter who you pick. Doesn't make a difference if you want to get rid of the a first or the 4c, but they gotta go. So let's subtract a. And what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Now, p minus a, can't do anything about, so we'll leave it be. And then we have 7b plus 4c. Still want to get b by itself. And we still have a plus 4c. We couldn't really combine any like terms, so we have to do addition principle twice here, in which we're going to subtract 4c from both sides. So we have p minus a minus 4c equals 7b. Still want b by itself. And currently we have 7 times b, so in order to undo it, we divide by 7. And what we do to one side, we have to do to the entire other side. And now we're left with b by itself on this side equals P minus A minus 4C all over 7. And you might be wondering, why did you switch it? It looks prettier, but this equals that, or you can switch it, makes no difference. So there's our solution. Now, what we're going to have to do with some of these is they'll provide us maybe an ugly looking formula. Maybe something like F equals 9/5 C plus 35. And they will tell us C equals 25. So find what F is. So all we have to do is take that result that they gave us, C is 25, and plug it in for C. And just simplify. So we have F equals 9/5 times 25 plus 35, and we just got to reduce if possible. 5 can go into 25 5 times. 9 times 5 is 45, plus the 35 gets us 80. So F equals 80. So you might have to evaluate formulas. For the most part, it's plug and chug, which if you need more review, go back to chapter 9.1. So until next time.